Hello and welcome to this morning time taste challenge. I have two Kentucky bourbon whiskeys. This is WD Liquors, Winn-Dixie Liquors, genuine Kentucky bourbon whiskey distilled in Kentucky. What that makes sense. I had some Louisiana shrimp. They were from Louisiana. There's a horse and a jockey. It's a very plain gold label with black and red trim. And they have a wax seal, but it's really just paper. It's painted to look like wax. Their guarantee of quality, they'll give you a refund. Age 3 years, it says on the back, bourbon. Doesn't say straight bourbon. I don't know why, because it's aged 3 years. But anyway, it just says bourbon, Kentucky, Wide World Distillers for Winn-Dixie. I remember this stuff when I was a little kid. Family get-togethers, they would buy this stuff. And because it was cheap. It's $15.99 now for this huge bottle. Back then, it was probably $8.99 for this huge bottle, or $6.99. It was glass. Now it's plastic, clear glass, plastic. Here's Jim Beam Black, aged 8 years. Introduced in 1992, 43% alcohol, sour mash, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, the world's finest bourbon according to them. Others would disagree. Clear glass bottle, $32.99 at international market. It's all gone now. Oh, they still have the Jim Beam Black, but it's the current 7-year age, not the 8-year. So this bottle, they had a bunch of 8-year age, and it slowly went away as the word got out. And I think we helped get the word out, but why not let people buy it? So basically more than twice the price. $15.99 times 2, $31.98, $32.99. Then the price had gone up to $34.99 before they got rid of it. But yeah, I found it. I was glad. I told my friend David, I said, they got the Jim Beam Black 8-year. He was like, the 8-year? I said, yeah, they don't make that anymore. Oh, and he had to go buy a couple of bottles. He was so excited. The legendary international market, Metairie, Louisiana. '86 proof. Let me update my notes here. So the WD, which may have been on the market since 1955, 80 proof. This one is 86 proof, just like Evan Williams. Evan Williams Black Label's 86 proof. No age statement on that one. All right. Which I've never actually had that one. Oh, I did. It was a half-size bottle. That's right. Plastic 375. Back in the Stone Age. No, back 2017 period 18. Okay. The black is much darker. It's deep copper, deep rich copper. Now it's straight bourbon, so they cannot add any coloring and no flavoring. No flavoring, no coloring. It's whatever you get, whatever you taste is from the bourbon, from the grains, the corn, the rye, the malted barley, maybe wheat. Same thing with this Winn-Dixie bourbon. It doesn't say straight bourbon, but it's still bourbon. They don't say anything about natural flavors or color added. So as cheap as it is, it's still all natural. Website. King Jim Beam Black, because they don't have it anymore. It's a different product now. It's a 7-year age. Winn-Dixie $99. There you go. Only available in the store, and you have to show your ID to buy it. Common sense. So, although in Louisiana they're not usually too strict about that. Sometimes they check my ID. They do not. All right. Rafael Nadal announces his retirement. Okay. Time, I guess. All right. Getting up there in age. You know, like in the sports world, 35 years old is getting up there in age. I don't know his age, but something like that. All right. For sports, 35 is old. For like the music industry, it's young, I guess. All right. Burley Sullivan says, you too, you. All right. Yeah, I got the Pap stuff. They sent me this shirt. I didn't actually pay for this shirt. I didn't ask for the shirt. I just told them I'll send them an email, say I like their beer. Send me a shirt, bumper stickers like the one right there I'm pointing to. Sent me those coasters. Sent me a cap. Then this cap they gave to me at pre-Super Bowl promotion in New Orleans one year. You can see the shirt's getting faded, but it's not expensive. Comfortable. All right. So, all right. I can't look because if I look down and I see the darker product, I'll know it's Jim Beam Black. Oh, that smells deep and rich. It's got to be the black because I know that Winn-Dixie bourbon does not smell deep nor rich. It smells okay. It's nice. It's even in many ways most excellent, which would be shocking to most of us, being the price point, considering the price point. But yeah, it's just a plain bourbon, which means it's really nice, you know. But I mean, it's nothing stand out. Why did they make Jim Beam Black? Well, common sense. Something stronger, darker, aged longer, richer, a little bit more expensive. Just like I think it was the same year, 92, they came out with Crown Royal Black. That was 2010. That's right. Not 92. But 92 is around the time when all these started coming out. Everybody wanted to make a black, which was higher proof and darker. Jim Beam Black. Then later the Crown Royal Black. Now there's a Seagram's VO Black, which I've not had, 90 proof. I can't imagine that would be the I just can't imagine that would be the WD Liquors, that private label. Got to be the Jim Beam. Got to be. It is. Got it right on aroma only. What is now? 5 wins, 0 losses, or is it 4-0? I have to check my records, but I have no losses yet. Cheers. Taste. So can you get these on aroma only sometimes? Sometimes, not too much, but sometimes they'd be very different. Jim Beam Black is a standout product. Has uniqueness. It has character. It has many things that you would want to track down and find and experience. But then it's Jim Beam, so you don't have to track it down. Every liquor store sells it. Not the 8-year anymore. That was a find. Now that was a relic. That bottle might be from 1995, 94. I think we looked up. It's old. It's 25 years old or older. It was in beautiful condition. It looked brand new. They must have been in a warehouse, just locked away, kept pristine. Looks like a brand new bottle. We could tell the design looks older, but couldn't get over that. You didn't have to buy these big ones. You could have bought the regular Jim Beam Black, the cylindrical, or like squared off cylinder type, but you know, elongated bottles, 8-year age. They had those. They were like, I don't know, $15.99. But why pay $15.99 for a 750 when you can get this huge thing for $32.99? I wasn't going to do it. Both of them have a nice design. I like that 750 bottle. It was a very interesting design. And Jean-Pierre the Beverage Ramble, he found one of those old elongated cylindrical bottles for the Jim Beam Prohibition repeal, a Prohibition style rye. And they probably only ran that bottle for a year or two. And then they came out with the more recent one, which is now gone as well. All right, so would I recommend the Winn-Dixie? I recommend it if you could look at things in context. You know what I'm saying? It is a bourbon. It's not a bourbon product. It's not a flavor bourbon. It's not a thing like that. But it's a regular bourbon, but it's basic. And it's extremely cheap, like we showed, $15.99. But if you could look at it in that context, that it's be more like serviceable. Now you might say you went and you talked to the manager at Winn-Dixie and he made a deal. He was going to give you a 10% discount if you bought 10 bottles for this wedding reception. That's the kind of thing it's made for. But it's doable. Or you might stock the country club with it. But I don't know why you would do that, because you got to pay a retail price from Winn-Dixie when you could probably get some other commodity bourbon at like New Orleans wholesale liquors. You might get that for $12.99. Might be from the same company, but it might be called like bartender's service, bourbon. They got all these off the wall bar brand whiskeys that are just made to stock. Like I said, like Belterre Country Club or New Orleans City Park Country Club. And you say, give me a bourbon and Coke. And that's what they're going to give you. They're not pulling Blanton's and Coke for $8 or $10. Well, that's a ripoff as it is. $10 for Coke and bourbon mix, and you put it on ice, so you're barely getting anything. But people just like to get rid of money. I don't know. I'm not saying you should be stingy and a miser or anything like that, but there is a point where it's like, I'm watching people, like 2 years ago, I'm watching people drinking Bloody Marys. They're using Crown Rusk Premium, which is not even a true vodka. It's vodka with natural flavors. Why you would want to add that, I don't know. And the tomato juice, which was like Surefine tomato. It wasn't V8. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, it was like everything was like basic, and they're paying like $8. That was the 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. special. Hey, but they were loving it. The lady was like, "It's so good," and I'm thinking, wow, Here's Middendorf selling Bloody Marys at 11 a.m. using the cheapest vodka they could find, and they got it cheaper than you and I can get it because they bought it wholesale. The cheapest tomato juice can stuff, wasn't V8. Like I said, it might have been Autocrat. I think it was Autocrat. That's like a food supply company. It's probably made by the people that make V8. They're paying $8, and it probably costs total 80 cents for the restaurant to make it. We're talking about salary, shipping, electrical, everything, 80 cents. But hey, that's fine. You want to do it. That's how the tourism industry works. It's like credit card companies around the world would all go out of business in a month if everybody started paying off their card on time. Because then they would have no interest. They would make that's how they make the money. You say, well, I'll just pay $25 a month. I can afford that. Shoot. That's nothing. But it takes you 70 years to pay it off. It just keeps building up. They're glad. They don't care. Keep paying it. As long as they're getting that $25 a month. But you're paying, you borrowed $1 and you're paying them back $1.25, $1.70 even, probably, if you do it that way. Okay, you get it. All right. But in this case, is the Jim Beam Black really twice as good? Probably, yes. It's got that rich, like we're talking about creme brulee. Sometimes that just deep, deep char. It's amazing. And you think, oh no, they're adding flavor. And there's no way a regular grain-based product could taste like this with this deep char. It's almost like raisins, like black, dark raisins or black cherries. Nope, they're not adding coloring or flavoring. It really is like that. So yeah, you got to pay twice as much, assuming you could ever find it, which is very unlikely, but not impossible, as evidenced by I found it. But yeah, I think in this case I would pay the extra double amount. I would pay the extra money. It's twice as much money, but it lives up to the price point. Not to say that this is bad. It's the Winn-Dixie WD Liquors Genuine Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey made in Kentucky. Surprisingly. I shouldn't tease though, because all the Canadian whiskey bottles I have are like Canadian whiskey made in Canada from Canadians at a Canadian distillery supervised by the Canadian government. Canadian whiskey. I'm like, okay, I get it. You vape, I get it. Okay, it's worth it, actually. And frankly, and I'm not saying this is off the record. This, don't even repeat this, and let's pretend I never said it. And as far as I'm concerned, I never did say it. And if someone asked me that, I would say, if they pin me down on this statement, I would say I never made any official statement to that effect, because I made an unofficial statement, which is what's coming right now. To me, this tastes the same as Ancient Age. So if you like Ancient Age, produced in Frankfort, Kentucky by a certain company, aged 3 years at 80 proof, which is interesting since this is produced in Frankfort, Kentucky by a certain company, and it's aged 3 years and it's 80 proof. No, think about that. Think about it along those lines, and it might help you understand what's going on here. But I never said that officially. So if you pin me down, you're not gonna hold me down, because all I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna be lying, I'll tell you 2 days from now or 3 days, I'll say, no, I never made any official statement like that. No. Nope. But it would be very interesting to take a bottle of Ancient Age and compare it to this. Very interesting. Now, can you get a big bottle of Ancient Age for $15.99 like this? I don't think so. Maybe for $21.99, perhaps. Maybe you pay $6 more. But it would be a fascinating comparison. That's all I'm going to say. I've said enough. You may never see me again after a day or so. I might disappear off the internet and from the world. I only live 31 miles from the headquarters of a certain company. Anyway, so all of that aside, the clear and present winner is Jim Beam Black. But then, to be honest, Jim Beam Black could bust up most of the. Most of the bourbons I got, they cannot stand up to Jim Beam Black 8-year age. Most of the bourbons I have, they got no chance. No, look at that rich color. Look at that rich red color coming through there. They don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. It's not fair. It's not fair. Now, what happened when Jim Beam Black 8-year disappeared? Well, it didn't disappear completely, because it was replaced by Jim Beam Extra Aged, Jim Beam Black Extra. Same product, but well, actually, yeah, the same product, but aged without an age statement. So it wasn't 8 years, obviously. Maybe 6, 5, whatever they decided. International World Spirits Competition Trophy 2016. International Wine and Spirits Competition Quality Award, world's highest rated bourbon. Now they're claiming it was the world's highest rated bourbon. But even that wasn't good enough. The world is not enough. Even that wasn't good enough. They had to replace that in 2024. The celebrated Jim Beam Black Extra Age, the world's greatest bourbon. The world's greatest bourbon. Imagine that. And I paid what, $14.99, $16.99 for this bottle. I bought the world's greatest bourbon for $16.99. No, it wasn't good enough. They replaced it in 2024 with Jim Beam Age 7 years. Black with gold and some gray. That's not white, that's gray. They said, we're not going back to 8 year. 8 years is too long. We age in whiskey too long. This bourbon is going to be 7 years, by golly. And don't ask questions, you're going to love it. Even though the price is going to be higher than the 8 year. All right, so is it any good? Oh, that's a blue 7. Oh, I'm glad I have this good sunlight right now. That's not black, it's blue. Oh, it's navy blue. Well, blow me down. It's a charcoal gray label with gold and navy blue. I'm stunned. Well, if you go in Walmart where the lighting is sort of dim, it's black. It looks like black. Now I'm looking at navy blue. I got to get off of this because I got a lot of thinking. I got a lot of things I got to work out of my head now after seeing that. I don't know what to think. All right, let me go. And so you can see all the excitement coming. You say, oh, give me a break. Excited about Jim Beam. I know you may not be. I am. I've got the extra. Never tried it. I didn't even try it when it was in production, and I still haven't tried it. After it was in production for like 9 years, I never tried it. But I'm gonna, God willing. And then the 7 year. By the time I get to the 7 year, they probably already have redone it into something new. All right, but y'all take care. And I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, we have a comment, another comment. Craft Beer Tastic says, I feel like Jim Beam is a mediocre bourbon at best, but with an effective marketing strategy. Oh, I don't agree with that. I think it's a really great bourbon. But it's the way it's designed. You see, so let's look at it for a minute. So they make a baseline product, Jim Beam. Nothing elaborate. Age 4 years, although they don't even put the age statement on the bottle because they don't want to pay the tax that you got to pay if you put an age statement. Okay, fine. Because I don't want to pay the tax either. So, and that's where all their money's coming from. Let's be honest. The money's coming from the Jim Beam. It's not coming from the single barrel collection and all that. Okay. But this is important. They produce products like that. Barrel proof, single barrel, extra, continuing bourbon. Now, they're not going to be $11.99 at Total Wine and More. You're going to pay a lot of money, and I mean a lot. Some of these you can only buy in Kentucky, like Heaven Hill. It's like Evan Williams. You can only buy it in Kentucky. It's going to cost you probably more like the $150 bottle, $150. It's going to be a small percentage of their customers buying that, but it's there. It's out there. They're putting it out there. They're saying, this is what we can do but we know that that's not going to be a big part of the market. It's like Cuervo, Jose Cuervo. People like to talk dog about that all day long. Cuervo. I don't like Cuervo. Cuervo's so mixto. You know, they'll say, Jose Cuervo's a mixto. It's like, well, yeah, Jose Cuervo Gold is a mixto, but you know, they also make the Tradicional. That's 100% agave, right? You know about that, right? I've never heard of that. Yeah, well, it's been on the market since like 1978, so you might want to check it out. And they also make the 1800 line, 1800 tequila, which I just heard you bragging about it on your website, so don't try to back out of it. It's made by Cuervo. But they make the Family Reserve selection, and those come in starting around $89, maybe 69 if you got a deal. So those are coming in at 89.99, and then they got some of those that are super extra aged. They're like 239.99 on a discount. So and I don't care what liquor company you pick. I'm talking about the big ones, not some little niche product company that nobody ever heard of. But you get any of these major liquor companies, Evan Williams, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Hennessy, Courvoisier, Captain Morgan, all that. So they make products that are extremely expensive, that you don't typically see them, but you might, and then you could be heading towards $200 to $300. And then, and if you tried those products, it'd be amazing. You know, you'd be stunned. You know, but obviously there'd be a minimal amount of money coming in from those, and they may not even make money on those. They just put them out there to be in the mix, like that Crown Royal 31-year aged. I can buy a bottle of Crown Royal aged 31 years. I can get it right there, 1 mile away, 1 mile. There's only one little problem, one little technical problem. It's $599.99, and I'm not really looking to pay that. $599.99. Yeah, so I guess I'll pass on it. And they only ordered one bottle. Look like everybody else is passing on it too. It's like Jameson. You say, well, Jameson. But they got a Middleton. That's the Middleton. They got Middleton Special Reserve every year. This is like $300. It's crazy. All right. Well, y'all take care now. Bye-bye. The winner, Jim Beam Black. Actually, it's a fabulous product. It's a fabulous product. I believe it. I think it's great. Good day to you, Craig Swinson. Thank you for the best wishes. You take care now. All right, y'all have a great Thursday afternoon.